Good morning, everyone. My name is Dev Jyotinanda, roll number 2001174, and today I'll be talking about Union Budget 2021-22. Here are some of the key highlights of the Union Budget 2021-22. The capex increased, allocation increased to rupees 5.54 lakh crores in the FY 2022 versus what it was allocated last year of 4.39 lakh crores, and rupees 2 lakh crores to states and autonomous bodies was also allocated under capex. If we talk about bank recapitalization, 20,000 crores has been allocated for bank recapitalization in this financial year. The disinvestment target by the government is around 1.75 lakh crores, with different companies like 20% shares in LIC, or if we talk about privatization or corporatization of OFBs, then privatization of two public sectors banks and GIC. If we talk about infrastructure, 1 lakh crores was allocated to both railways and road transport development, and liquidity support was offered to discoms and 100 cities to be added to the city gas distribution network. No TDS or dividend distribution under tax benefits for REIT and investment in IT sector, and tax deduction benefits for affordable housing extended, improving the housing livelihood index for us to the country. Now, talking about the budget announcements sector wise, if we talk about the banking and finance sector, we already discussed about the 20,000 crore allocation of banking recapitalization. There was also setup of asset reconstruction company or asset management companies, and strengthening of the NLCT framework. The disinvestment target set by the government this year was 1.75 lakh crores. In terms of insurance, maturity proceeds of ULIP having annual premiums of more than 2.5 lakhs to be provided same concession capital gains tax, and FDI was hiked to 74% from existing 49% in the insurance sector. One of the positive things about this budget was that the hike in FDI limits, and one of the negative things that we can talk about would be the capital gains taxation on ULIPs. If we talk about the auto sectors, an auto scrappage policy will be introduced for commercial and passenger vehicles, but to be implemented only for old age vehicles which are predated to 2015. If we talk about the infrastructure sector, we already discussed there was a portfolio, there was an enhanced outlay of rupees 1.18 lakh crores for road transportation and highways. Liquidity support for distribution companies was also provided, and completion of 11,000 kilometers of road has been promised by the end of March 2022. This sector has seen positive growth in terms of budgetary allocation in comparison to last year. If we talk about consumption, no change in direct taxes or any tax slab system that was introduced last year. Cut in spending. One of the negative of this budget was that there was reduction in spending for Manrega, and reduction in import duties on gold as well. Next, talking about the agriculture sector, it is an expansionary budget which looks at more of growth rather than fiscal consolidation. And if we talk about the agriculture sector, the enhanced agriculture credit target was set at rupees 16.5 lakh crores in 2022, and rise in custom duty on cotton to 10% from nil, which will also increase the government coffers. Talking about the real estate, government has plans on providing incentives to affordable housing and tax benefit, and has been extended for another year. If we talk about incentives of home buyer and real estate developers, rise in safe harbor limit from 10% to 20% for specified primary sales of residential units. Oil and gas sector, asset monetization, proposed monetization of in BPCL. 100 cities to be added to the city gas distribution line. Overall, it's an expansionary budget. If we talk about all the sectors, there has been some reduction in allocation of funds to few of the sectors, but overall it is considered to be an expansionary budget. Now, some of the vital statistics and announcement. The fiscal deficit has been pegged at 9.5% for the financial year 2022, and a target of 6.8% to reach to 6.8% has been set for this financial year. If we talk about tax exemption, people above the senior citizens above the age of 75 have been exempted from any kind of tax on the pension and the interest income that they get from it. If we talk about COVID support, Government of India is ready to invest. Government of India has actually invested 13% of India's GDP in FY 2021 in COVID support. Revenue deficit grants of rupees 1.18452 crores as revenue deficit grant to be given to 17 states under different sectors. If we talk about corporate bond market, proposal to form a permanent institutional framework headed by SEBI for corporate bond market. Now, equity outlook of this budget, if we talk in terms of equity, the union budget is tilted more towards its support of growth, even as the cost of borrowing is higher right now. As I mentioned earlier, it is a budget that has been made looking at a short-term goal and not at a long-term goal. And over the years, it will be tilting more towards fiscal consolidation, leading to a more sustainable growth for our country. Government's increased focus on infrastructure and no tax rate hikes cheered the markets. It was a welcome introduction by the government in this budget. If we talk about budget, if we talk about some other key features in terms of equity, we like continue to be remain positive on sectors which are closely linked to economy like bank, capital goods, infrastructure, and metal and mining. We believe the current market rally may continue till the below mentioned target plays out. Like for example, the crude oil prices are expected to touch $60 to $65 per barrel, and the US Treasury yields reaching 2%. US Treasury yields are considered to be some of the world's most safest investments, and those have also increased the yield from it to about 2% right now. If we talk about fixed income outlook, the budget has given precedence to growth over fiscal consolidation, as mentioned earlier. The higher borrowing program to meet the increased expenditure resulted in bond market slowing down a bit. But going forward, monetary stimulus will definitely hand over the baton to fiscal stimulus for a sustainable growth recovery. If we talk about in our Outlook 2021, we have highlights that the capital gain strategy has played out meaningfully, and going forward, returns expected need to be rationalized. RBI is expected to continue gradual nominalization of liquidity management operations as the growth and economic activity picks up. Recovering from COVID-19, our country has been performing way better than most of the countries around the world. The ease of doing business has improved even during this, even after the COVID-19 situation. It hasn't got over yet, but still talking about different affected sectors like supply chain management, or if we talk about operations or manufacturing, those have also started kicking up well, and the fourth quarter has shown good results for these companies as well, companies of this sector as well. As communicated earlier, we believe that we are at the fag end of the interest rate cycle, and if we talk about what is a cyclical recession that happens over a period of times in our country, we are closely moving towards the end of it, and we are looking at a gradual bell curve increment phase. And this time would be this is the best time, to be honest, to have an expansionary budget where yes, the cost of borrowing would be higher, but similarly the opportunity of growth in different sectors will be higher in similar terms. So we continue to recommend accrual strategy with the aim to benefit from higher carry. So that would be all. At last, I would like to say that the budget hasn't been something out of sorts or very extraordinary this year, but hopefully with the strategy that the government has been taking up of reaching 5 trillion economy by 2025, maybe we will not reach there actually, but putting an effort towards moving towards it, making an expansionary budget will definitely do good in terms of our growth. Thank you and have a nice day.